Hi, welcome to section 1-3, multiplying and dividing real numbers. The target today is I can multiply and divide real numbers. So please copy those words in. All right, so a couple of rules that we're going to work with today is multiplying and dividing with numbers that have the same sign. Okay? When we multiply or divide with numbers that have the same sign, our answer is always positive. So let's come up with an example. If I have 2 times 3, you would tell me that the answer simplifies to 6, right? So I have a positive 2 and a positive 3, and I get a positive 6. Now, when we talk about positive numbers or write positive numbers, we really don't write the plus sign. They're just assumed. But if I have negative 2 times negative 3, the rule for multiplying numbers with the same sign, negative times a negative, well, my answer is always positive. I have a positive 6. Same thing with dividing. If I had, let's say, negative 10 divided by negative 2, I have a negative divided by negative, I'm going to get a positive 5. So again, multiplying and dividing with numbers that have the same sign result in a positive answer. These are only rules for multiplying and dividing. Multiplying and dividing with different signs, the answer is always negative. So let's come up with an example there. Okay, I have, let's say, negative 3 times positive 4. The rule states that my answer is always negative. My answer simplifies to negative 12. Or if I have 3 times negative 4, again, it's negative 12. Notice these numbers have different signs. One is positive, one is negative. My answer is always negative. Same thing if I divide. If I have negative 10 divided by a positive 2, my answer will be negative 5. So multiplying and dividing rules, we look at the signs of the numbers. So let's take a look here. When I have a positive number times a positive number, I get a positive number. If I have a negative number times a negative number, I get a positive number. If I have a positive number divided by a positive number, I get a positive number. And if I have a negative number divided by a negative number, I get a positive number. Okay? Now, let's say I have different signs, right? So all of these are the same sign. Let's look at different signs. So if I have a positive times a negative, I get a negative. If I have a negative times a positive, I get a negative. If I have a positive divided by a negative, I get a negative. And if I have a negative divided by a positive, I get a negative. So those are rules to keep in the back of our mind. Let's just come up with a few examples here. If I say, all right, what about 10 divided by negative 2? I should have a negative 5 as an answer because they're different signs. If I have 10 times 2, I should get a positive 20. Same sign, right? Positive times positive is positive. What if I have negative 10 divided by, or times, negative 2? Again, I should get a positive 20. All right? So let's practice with this. For the next 6 examples, we're going to use these rules about different signs and same signs. But before, I'd like you to go through and just write the answer, the sign of what the answer will be. So if I look here at number 1, I have 1/2 times -10. Well, I have a positive times a negative, so I know I'm going to have a negative. I'd like you to go ahead and do that for all of them, and then come back and check your answers. All right, we said number 1 was going to be negative. Number 2, our answer should be positive. Number 3, we have to substitute, but our answer should be positive. Number 4, your answer should be positive. Number 5, your answer should be positive. And number 6, your answer should be negative. Now, go ahead, hit pause, and find the value of each expression. All right, your answers should match mine. I'm writing them in blue and circling them. And notice that the sign that I wrote before should match the sign of the number, the answer. All right, on to the real world. Now, the speed of a hot air balloon is 3 miles an hour. It travels in a straight line for 1.5 hours before landing. So how many miles away from the liftoff site will the balloon land? So we have a balloon. We have somebody in there. And then we have the balloon landing site. So we have a start and an end. And the question is, how many miles away from the liftoff site will the balloon land? So we're trying to find this distance. Well, if the hot air balloon is traveling at a speed of 3 miles per hour and it's traveling for 1.5 hours, I'm going to multiply those. And I have a positive 3 times a positive 1.5, and I'll get 4.5 miles. So this hot air balloon will travel 4.5 miles away from the liftoff site. Please make sure you add a label. When we have a word problem, we should always have a word label. And now let's take a look at another hot air balloon. What if on another hot air balloon trip, the wind speed is 5 miles an hour? So this one's going much faster than the other one. The trip is planned for 2 hours. The balloon travels in a straight line. How many miles away from the liftoff site will the balloon land? Same idea, except this one's traveling faster. So we have to think about, compared to our last answer, this balloon should be farther away. It's now traveling at 5 miles an hour, and it's traveling for 2 hours. So if you multiply a positive 5 times a positive 2, it should be 10 miles away. Remember, distance can never be negative. So 10 miles away, that second hot air balloon is. All right, please submit your notes. Thanks for watching.